Let me see what you've got.
Hey guys, we're 93 here, and here is yet another update on Dragon Ball. And I already said that. Here's just another discussion video on Dragon Ball. Okay, so as you may have already known, I posted a video yesterday saying that Super Saiyan God is stronger than Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. I'm sorry, it's like 12 o'clock at night. I need to get some sleep. So Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan is strong. Super Saiyan God is stronger than Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. That's what I'm trying to say. Although some people agreed with me, there are others of you who are disagreeing with me. And what I want to do is just give a more in-depth look of my reasoning of why I still think Super Saiyan God is stronger than Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. Well, if we completely disregard the fact that Toriyama as an artist thought that red was a stronger color, we are going to go straight toward the source material itself, the movies. And we'll also look from the interviews Toriyama has, I think it was just one interview, an interview with Toriyama regarding the power scale after Battle of Gods. So from the movies, if we remember the fight, Goku and Beerus were, when they were fighting, Goku was at 80% of his power and Beerus was at some unknown level. Then Beerus decided to kick it up to 70% of his power, although we never got to see what the Super Saiyan God Goku's full power was, seeing that he reverted back to his base form with some God essence. In the fight that we did get to see, Beerus was winning pretty much the majority of the time, if not the full time of the fight, with Goku getting very little hits in. Then looking at Resurrection F, Golden Frieza comes into the picture and faces off against Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Goku, and here's where things get interesting. If you don't have the right sources, you can easily get this mixed up. So for me, I'm getting the source from a subtitled version of it, and it was actually officially subtitled, so that's good of it. So when Goku and Frieza were fighting, Goku was actually losing the fight. Some people might say that Goku wasn't trying very seriously, but Goku honestly wouldn't do that if he knows who Frieza is. Otherwise, he could pull off another Namek and would blow it up. He would blow the earth up. But going back to the actual fight, Goku was actually losing the fight. And Goku is later knocked down to the ground by Frieza. During the fight, Goku even says out loud to Frieza that he is losing, but will soon be winning because he's found Frieza's weakness. And you know, the dialogue with Vegeta comes actually revealing that Frieza didn't rush. If Frieza didn't rush there, he could have mastered the transformation, as it was draining its energy from him, thus making him going to lose the fight later. Another thing worth noting, when Frieza saw Beerus, Frieza was scared of Beerus and was worried that he can interfere. Beerus didn't show any sign of fear or uncertainty toward Frieza, so we know that Beerus is still more powerful. Then Frieza was still pretty confident until the fight slowly started to turn into Goku's favor. That's when Goku completely took over the fight and beat Frieza. Then you know the ending happened. If you've read the plot synopsis, I'm going to save the spoiler for here. If you read the plot synopsis, then you know what happens after that point. So what does all this info mean? Well, that's where we're going to dwell into the interviews. I don't know why I wrote that. Well, there was an interview following Battle of Gods. Toriyama was asked if the gods were to be put on a scale of 1 through 10. Toriyama stated that Goku was a 6, Beerus was a 10, and Whis was a 15. So we know that in Battle of Gods, that 70% power was more than enough to beat God Goku, since Goku at his max is roughly 60% of Beerus' power, and Beerus is roughly 50% of Beerus' power, but that's irrelevant. But Goku is roughly 60% of Beerus' power, so when Beerus was facing that 80%, I would say Beerus was going just about 50 to 55, somewhere in that range. Also, we said in Resurrection F that if Goku and Vegeta were to team up against Beerus, they can possibly win. Keyword being possibly, as there is a chance that Beerus could still win. That's my interpretation of it. If you have a different interpretation, please tell me in the comments below. But that's my interpretation of it, and that they can possibly win. So, with the new Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan form, why wouldn't they be able to beat Beerus on their own if it was really more powerful than Super Saiyan God form, staying at the power scale. So let's assume with this training, even if Vegeta is not as powerful as Goku, but he would be at least a 5. And if he was in his red hair form, so if Goku and Vegeta were a 6 and a 5 together, if we do basic math, that would be 11, which would mean that they would more than likely could beat Beerus if they were to fight together. Not just possibly, they would have an advantage over him. So that would mean Beerus would possibly be able to beat Goku and Vegeta. So if the red-haired Super Saiyan God form was more likely to beat Beerus, then Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan form should be able to easily handle Beerus if they teamed up. But we said that they were possibly able to beat Beerus, meaning that they don't have an advantage over Beerus, but in red Super Saiyan God form, they do have an advantage over Beerus in terms of power. So going back to Frieza, if Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan was really more powerful than the original, why wasn't it able to beat Frieza at full power? Or at least win the majority of the time? If Frieza was weaker than Beerus, if there was a 50 times multiplier on it, as some people are stating, then Goku would be able to beat Beerus at that point. So it just can't be right. So here's what I think what the form actually is. Like I have said time and time again, Goku said it himself that all it is, I'm going to try to include either a screenshot or something going on, that it's just Super Saiyan using the power of Super Saiyan God. It's not a complete new form. It's just that he's harnessed the God power enough so he can use it at will, and as a side effect of that, his aura and hair color were altered when transforming into a Super Saiyan. That's all speculation, but it does make sense taking it from the quote that Goku said. You can agree or disagree with that, but if you disagree, you should prepare to get into a debate with me in the comments, because I feel pretty strongly and confident that that's what it means. So in conclusion, I do think that Super Saiyan God is stronger than Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, just because Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan just couldn't beat Frieza, who is weaker than Beerus, but Super Saiyan God is roughly 60% of Beerus' power. Also, the fact that the power scaling, yes, between the characters Super Saiyan God Goku and Beerus stated by Toriyama, and adding Vegeta in there would give them an advantage over Beerus, and we stating the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan form that they can only possibly win. So those are my thoughts. If you look at the information given, it really suggests that this form is most likely weaker than the red-haired God form. Those are just the facts. I'm laying them out there, and those are my thoughts. So that's been the video for today. What do you think? If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button to show your support, and for more discussions on Dragon Ball, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all later.